Horseshoes aren't just for good luck. Introduction. Everyone has a special summer they treasure as the best summer of all. Mine came when I was 9 years old, and it started after my first train ride alone. That short ride out of the city began my summer-long exploration of new surroundings. Even now, the pattern of smells, sounds, and textures seems so immediate that I can imagine myself back there. When my father first suggested that I visit Graham, his grandmother, at her big beach house, I had no way of anticipating the outcome. I have never seen an ocean or a beach. Dad said he had loved spending long, lazy summers there, and his enthusiasm colored every story he told. Leaving home, I kept asking myself, "But what is it like there?" And she said, "The entire environment of the beach town is different from the city. People have chosen to enjoy a different way of living. You see, raised with routines of life in the city." I wasn't sure what he meant by a different way of living. In a taxi, we took to the train station. Dad kept assuring me that I would love discovering it all for myself. I rode alone on the train, watching the passing view change from my familiar city skyline to small towns, and to no towns at all. I wondered what it would be like where I was going. I didn't feel very rigid. Life by the sea. My question vanished when I saw Graham waiting for me at the train station, laughing and waving her straw hat. Her friend Jim loaded my bags into his car and chose a route through Graham's little beach town so I could see what it was like. The first thing I noticed was that most of the people we passed were walking or riding bicycles. There was also a beautiful horse ambling slowly down a shady street, drawing a carriage. No one was in a hurry at all. I could already see that the summer here was going to be unusual. We stopped in front of a tall gray house that had a rambling garden with flowers of all kinds. Jim carried my bags as we climbed up the many steps to the broad front porch. Graham started to prepare dinner for all of us. Whatever she was making had a sharp, spicy aroma. "Well, I'm doing this. Go upstairs and pick any bedroom you like," she suggested. Creaking wooden stairs led up to a hallway with 3 bedrooms and a bath of large bay windows. Each room I examined had billowing lace curtains, was painted a different color, and was personalized with its own pattern wallpaper. Choosing a bedroom was easy. Once I leaned my elbows on the windsill of the sunny yellow room and breathed in the salt-tinged breeze from the ocean, I decided it had to be my room. My summer home. The high, old-fashioned bed was inviting, so I plopped onto its plump comforter, stretched in satisfaction, and listened. It was very quiet, except for the background sound of the waves rolling onto the beach, over and over, wave after wave. The ocean was just outside the door. I ran down the creaky stairs and announced, "I'm going down to the beach," but Graham stopped me. She said, "It's very important to learn the rules of the sea before you go to the ocean unattended. Come with me." We took off our shoes on the porch and walked down to the beach together. As we scrunched our toes in the damp sand, Ram explained the purpose of the 2 long rock wall jetties that dominated the beach. Years ago, our shoreline was just much broader. Over time, erosion had the tides pulled much of the sand away. she said. So the town decided to position these heavy rocks in 2 long rows to protect the beautiful beach from eroding further. Graham cautioned me, only walking along the shoreline between the jetties. Always pay attention to the waves. She described currents as long flows of ocean water that could drag a swimmer far out to the sea. And she said an undertow would pull a person under the surface and trap them there. I agreed not to go in the water unless she or Jim were with me. My spicy welcoming dinner included little crab cakes, and there were flowers from her garden on the table. Jim told lots of stories about things he had found on the beach. After clearing the dishes, I was suddenly ready for bed. In my new pajamas, I burrowed deeply into my cold pillows and watched shadows from the lace curtains dance across the wall. Very soon, I was dreaming contentedly of running along a sandy beach. Limulus, the screech of seagulls, awoke me early the next morning. Pulling on shorts and a t-shirt, I ran downstairs and as Graham called out, "Remember the rules?" I nodded yes as I dashed out into my new world. The early sunlight was almost rosy, and dozens of seagulls were gliding in wide figure eights above my head. While watching the seagulls circle, I almost stepped on a turtle. No, a dozen turtles. The sand was covered with odd-looking creatures that had hard brownish-gray shells and pointed tails. But when I looked closer, I realized they weren't turtles at all. Some of these strange creatures were lying upside down on shells, rocking and wiggling. I crouched down to watch them wiggle until I heard Graham call me for breakfast. As I tried to describe the creatures I seen, Graham Laden said they were horseshoe crabs, its type arthropod. The scientists called limuli, but people just call them horseshoe crabs because of the U-shaped design in the shells. The waves floated them onto the shore, and sometimes they land upside down to the shells. She said that the upside-down crabs had almost stepped on were trying to use their pointed tails to turn themselves upright. She said if they didn't turn over quickly enough, the undersides would become too hot from the sun and they would die. She said crabs floated in and out on the waves, and crabs became stranded on the beach after the tide receded. They tried to stay cool by burrowing into the wet sand. The female crabs came onto the beach and laid their green jelly-like eggs a few inches under the sand. One female horseshoe crab might lay as many as 80,000 eggs in one season. Within 2 weeks, those eggs would develop into tiny larvae, and the larvae would be washed out into the ocean. These young larvae were tailless, but toward the end of summer they would molt and then develop tails. Ram explained, molting is when an animal sheds its skin, fur, or feathers and when it grows back new ones. Animals often molt because they are growing larger. We returned to the beach that afternoon as a walk, and I watched her technique as Graham kept stopping to turn over any upside-down crabs. He turned them gently in one motion. She put several of the stranded crabs back to the ocean to swim away. I was certain I saw her give a little pat to one or two of them. Graham described the horseshoe crabs as long-distance swimmers, but added that when they get tired, they just turn over and float on their shells if they were little boats. When they're hungry, they stop swimming and gradually sink to the bottom of the ocean, where the water is saltier, and they find abundant sources of food. Horseshoe crabs are considered very valuable creatures. Scientists study them to learn more about their 9 eyes and nervous system. Their blood is used to test for some human diseases and also to test new drugs. Horseshoe crabs may look odd, but they have adapted to their changing environment and survived for 350 million years since dinosaurs roamed the earth. Rescuing. I immediately assigned myself the role of chief rescuer of valuable arthropods. Every morning, I became a rescue mission. I turned over stranded crabs and tossed them back into the waves if seagulls hadn't reached them first to eat their tender parts. Sometimes they tossed them from one end of a rock jetty, waved and wished them good luck as they swam away. Many times they flew back in and stuck on shore again, but I soon learned that when waves would take them farther out into water. I also tried to chase birds away when I saw them eating the eggs. My grandma told me I should leave the birds alone, because for many years this has been their way of getting the food they needed on their flight back north. Early one morning, I walked to discover everything that had changed again. There was not a single horseshoe crab in sight. I ran back to the house to ask what happened to them. "It's all right," Ram said. "The crabs are done laying the eggs. They'll be back next year." I was disappointed, but I hoped that I could come back to Graham's big ocean next summer. I walked back to the beach and plopped down to the warm sand, watching the seagulls circling overhead. My crab rescue campaign had been an exciting new adventure, and thanks to Graham, I had learned about the ocean environment, helped nature a little, and had seen a whole way of living. Now I was ready for whatever my next summer adventure might be. Bye!